I haven't only clicked on to the long discussion. I tried here, but probably if you look very carefully, you can see there's drops on here, but I was just outside out here, and the winds really picked up in the last half hour outside of AccuWeather, and also the rain is not as hard as it was this morning, but it's kind of blowing sideways right now. It's kind of an indication of what we're looking at right now is the low-level jet is coming across this region. We're seeing winds at about 5,000 feet, gusting about somewhere from 60 to 70 knots right now, and that's transferring down to the surface with the rain, and we're seeing that outside finally. That same low-level jet expected to set up east of here, east of the Appalachians, and probably going to kick off a couple of bands of storms. Slight risk areas out, but I think it's a little too far west. I don't really think much is going to get back here as far as severe weather goes in State College, but I think farther east, different story. Here's what's going on. Excuse me. And there's a little bit of here at 18Z, that's 2 o'clock, that you can see there's a little bulge coming there. There may be a few thunderstorms associated with that races off to the northeast direction. I'm a little more concerned. Unfortunately, I don't know if I have it here. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, right here. Let me see here. No, these are the two. These are the two runs. This is the low-level jet, first of all, winds. You can see right in here, if you look very carefully, at 5,000 feet, there's about an 80-knot wind gust here in eastern Pennsylvania. Now, here's the two areas to watch. This is mid-level, upper-level vorticity, and also the winds added on to that. And you can see there's a little bit of a max here that's going to come up around 18Z, 2 o'clock, races off to the northeast. I can see some thunderstorms out of that. And also this line right in here, I think, will be the bigger trigger mechanism. So anywhere from like Richmond, just east of Baltimore, southern central New Jersey, and then getting up into here, although I think it'll fall apart and weaken a little bit as it gets into southern New England. But there could be some strong wind gusts, over 60 miles an hour briefly, with some of these storms that come up there. So definitely watch out for that later on today. Longer range. Seen a little bit of a pattern change in the Canadian kind of trending towards the GFS and the European now. Previous run had it still kind of bulked up. NAO still looking, quite negative, and PNA positive, and you got this still big trough in the east. But seeing the flattening going on, and this is the area we're watching carefully, is the Gulf of Alaska, because here it is at the present time, or at least this week, we're seeing an upper-level trough, western Gulf of Alaska over the Aleutians, and that's pumping up the ridge in here. Positive PNA look, trough digging down into the Midwest, and then another blocking mechanism here heading up towards Greenland, causing this distinctive block on the pattern. Look at this pattern right now, okay? Very, very close to what we're probably going to see many times mid to late winter season coming up. This is the kind of pattern I think is going to have. Maybe this is slightly west. This ends up being just slightly east. And this ends up being right in here more. And I think that's just enough that we'll start to see a couple of big storms, big hitters coming up mid to late season winter. So I don't know. That's just the look I see coming up now. Now, look at that. You just remember that last frame. This is what happens as we head out to the first couple of days of October. Gulf of Alaska storm is gone. In fact, a piece of it goes down into here, and that sets up our October forecast, where we anticipate some action getting into the Four Corners interior west. Maybe a little more moisture now involved in there. Maybe some snow in the high elevations as well, depending on how much cool. But looking in here, higher height anomalies, a lot of westerly flow across Canada. That's cutting off the chill, so we probably won't see any really chilly air masses getting down into the Great Lakes and Northeast anymore. In fact, temperatures may end up being above normal across these areas. But across the southern track, where there are systems and precipitation, we may see temperatures holding back just a little bit, closer to normal, if not below at times. Positive PNA gives you this, just to remind you, negative anomalies in the southeast, positive up here. That was January, actually. This is October, but close to the same thing, and that's what we have going on at the current time. And then if you look at the NAO, it does start to trend a little bit towards the neutral side, so that would support what we're seeing right here. With very weak now blocking taking place, if not any at all, and of course our Gulf of Alaska system starting to ponder away. There is still another upper low coming out of eastern Asia to watch to see if that takes over, but in any case, a lot of westerly flow across Canada as we head into the first week of October, and that spells milder conditions from what we're seeing coming up in the next 8 days. That is it for today. We'll see you again tomorrow.